Can you think of any other noise exposure in your history, or did we cover it all?
I think that's pretty well covered.
Okay. And so, what situations do you think you have trouble hearing in?
If there's background noise, I
Mhm.
tend to have a more difficult time hearing someone talking to me or making out the sounds that they're saying. Also, if someone is standing next to my bad ear or behind me and I can't see their mouth, it's a little bit more difficult for me to make out what they're saying.
Do you ever feel like you can't figure out where sounds are coming from? We call that localization. So it's being able to, if you had your eyes shut, figure out where a sound is coming from around you.
I don't think I have a problem with that, but my mom thinks I do.
Okay.
Particularly with like phones ringing or someone calling me from another room.
Okay. Some of the questions we typically, I'm stepping out here for a minute, that we typically ask somebody that we know is coming in with a known severe to profound hearing loss is, do you understand any speech? Have you ever used a phone before? Do you use a voice phone? Do you ever remember using a voice phone? If they come in and they say, you know, I wore a hearing aid at one time, and I say, well, which ear, and why didn't you wear a hearing aid in the other ear? So I kind of try to get to those types of questions as well to figure out, do they have a better ear? So a lot of times people come in and they've had a profound hearing loss for a very long time and they want to get hearing aids. And I need to start thinking about which ear am I going to go with? Do they have any memory of what it was like to wear hearing aids? Did they reject hearing aids? I find commonly that people tend to reject one hearing aid early on and maybe they only wore one hearing aid. When's the last time you wore hearing aids? It may have been 10 years ago, it may have been 15 years ago, it may have been 5 years ago. So there's a lot of questions like that that I tend to ask. Are you able to understand if you have your hearing aid on, so this is somebody coming in with hearing aids, are you able to understand somebody calling your name? Can you hear environmental sounds? Do you know what you're hearing when you hear an environmental sound? So I just try to get at what's our goal with the hearing aid, because oftentimes, especially somebody that hasn't worn hearing aids or is just getting it for work, sound awareness, we want to know what the hearing aid is going to be able to do for them. Okay. Can you hear speech but not understand it? Can you hear people talking but you don't understand what people are saying?
If they're not within my sight line,
Okay.
yes.
So do you feel like you rely on visual cues?
Yes, if it's on my left side.
Okay. Can you hear your telephone, your doorbell, your alarm clock ring? Okay. What about if you're laying on your right side and your left ear is, like you're laying in your bed and you can still hear it?
I can hear it, but I may not know where it's coming from.
Okay. Can you hear the smoke detector in your house? If you were in bed asleep?
Probably. I'm not sure the last time it went off.
Okay. Do you have a visual smoke detector?
No.
Okay. Do you ever avoid any situations because you can't hear? Or does it interfere with your job
I
or school?
decide where I stand in relation to other people. I try and put other people on my right side.
Okay. Well, obviously you said your mom said you have a hearing loss. Do other friends or family members think you have a hearing loss?
My friends have brought it up once or twice, but I just kind of ignore them.
Do you have any vision problems? Do you have cataracts?
Yes. I am nearsighted.
You're nearsighted, okay. Any other, have you ever had glaucoma, cataracts, macular degeneration?
No.
Are you legally blind?
No.
No, okay. Do you have ringing in your ears or hear any noises in your head?
Sometimes at night before I go to bed, if I have my head down on my pillow for a while, I might have to roll over because I have a ringing.
Okay, and it does sound like a ringing?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes it can sound like crickets or buzzing or chirping or waves crashing. So it sounds like it's just...
That would be scary to hear waves crashing in my head.
Does it keep you awake at night?
No, I can usually fall asleep through it.
Okay. Do any sounds hurt or bother your ears?
No, really low pitched maybe is hard to hear.
But does it
It
bother
doesn't
you?
hurt or bother,
It
no.
doesn't hurt or bother, okay. Any ear pain?
No.
Any pressure
No,
or fullness?
maybe fullness after I listen to my music, but that's about it.
Okay. I find those terms sometimes, ear pain isn't as hard to describe, but pressure and fullness, I think tend to be harder to describe and people to understand that term. Drainage from your ears, any drainage? And I'm not speaking of wax, but any other type of drainage?
No.
No, okay, so no blood, no other type of fluid coming from your ears?
No, I would go to the doctor or the emergency room if there was blood coming out of my ears.
Those are some types of drainage though that a lot of times people think wax is drainage, so we have to clarify that. So it's one of those things. So I'm glad to hear that you would go to the doctor. Very good. Have you experienced, never mind. Do you have any dizziness or vertigo?
Yes.
Okay. Dizziness would be a feeling of unsteadiness or lightheadedness.
Since I was a teenager, and I have been to the doctor about this, when I stand up, my blood pressure isn't high enough to get the blood into my head right away, and that does cause dizziness and tunnel vision.
Okay. Okay. So is it occasional?
Yes, it's
Okay.
occasional.
Okay. And then vertigo, if you were to describe vertigo, it would be the room spinning or you spinning within the room. Have you ever had that?
Occasionally at night,
Okay, because it's different from dizziness.
more like the bed spins.
Okay, is that after a night out at the bars?
No.
Sorry, I
Well, I
wouldn't
mean,
say that's sufficient. Stepping out.
That's great.
You just said bed spin, so I had to go there, sorry. Do you have any frequent headaches or migraines?
No.
Okay. Allergies, sinus problems? Any feeling of numbness on your face?
No.
Okay. Do you have a history of ear infections?
When I was very young, yes, for the first 2 years of my life, I had ear infections constantly.
Okay. Do you know how they were treated? Did you have medicine?
I had medicine, I did not, something like an ear stint or something
Tube.
that goes in, ear tube, I did not have that.
Did not have tubes, okay. And have you ever had any previous ear, nose, or throat surgery?
No.
Okay. How would you describe your general health as excellent, good, fair, poor? I mean, you can just answer however you want to answer
I
it, so
am
this is
excellent.
okay. This is not for you to disclose. So
Other
we,
than my diet, yes.
So what we want to find out, and sometimes this can be hard to get to, is what types of health problems they might have had that could have related to having chemotherapy or strong antibiotics, intravenous antibiotics, so any life-threatening illnesses. Then there's certain things like diabetes, kidney problems that can relate to ear problems and have connections.